This just took a shocking turn as Josh Giddey is now threatening the Chicago Bulls with signing the qualifying offer since they cannot agree on the contract. Hi, I'm Shaq Barnes, SB Talk Sports, with another great episode of Bulls Digest, and I'm on spot for everything Chicago Bulls. I also noticed that 6 episodes of you guys have watched the channel, have not subscribed, treat it like the Bulls intro, run right through that subscribe button, and ding the notification bells to be notified every time we drop a video. You know how I do my videos? I don't like to waste your guys' time. Let's get right into the news. So, Josh Giddey is now putting the pressure on the Chicago Bulls. And with him now putting the pressure on the Chicago Bulls, it's about the contract situation where we all know this has been a back and forth. This has been long overdue at this point, of where Josh Giddey wants $30 million per year. The Bulls should earn me at 20. If you guys been watching the channel, or when I've been saying videos, I have literally been saying give him 24 to 25, maybe high 26, add incentives in the contract so he can get close to that $30 million. Easy. But no, the Bulls haven't done that, and Josh Giddey has now folded from his point of view. Now it has been reports from Bleach Report insider Jake Fisher where Josh Giddey is now getting to the point where he's threatening to sign the qualifying offer. And we can get to it real quick. But remember I told you with video I covered talking about the Gordon Hayward situation, where Gordon Hayward went through the same thing with the Utah Jazz. He was so turned off and disgusted by the negotiation that when he signed whatever offer he could, when that offer was up, he left instantly. That's when he became an all-star. And I think Chicago Bulls should try to avoid that at all costs. But let's get into it. It said, if the Chicago Bulls want to keep Josh Giddey in town long term, they need to reach an extension with him. According to Jake Fisher of the Stern Line during the live stream for Bleach Report, he could threaten to sign the qualifying offer, which would set him up to enter unrestricted free agency next summer. And that's another thing people got to worry about too, because, okay, Josh Giddey, you can't really call it betting on himself. You can say he's betting on himself to get a higher contract, but he's just going to go where the open market is, where it's more money, and now he's an unrestricted free agent. So now the same tactic that the Bulls was using to lowball him, now you're going to have to overpay to keep him, because now it's a team like Utah who's going to offer him. Now it's not 30 when you could have gave him 30. And if he come off a good year, now it's going to be 35 to 40 million. And I know you don't want to pay that because you didn't want to give him 30. But let's get into the exact quotes from Jake Fisher. He said, will Giddey sign the qualifying offer? Fisher said, that is his threat. That is his leverage right now over the Chicago Bulls. He added, Chicago doesn't want to lose Josh Giddey at all. They've been telling other teams, they've been telling agents since the combine that they are not interested in having any discussions whatsoever with Josh Giddey. They value Josh Giddey, right? So if you value this player that you're saying you value, you can't say that and then super lowball him in the negotiation process. You could have easily met him at 24, 25, been reasonable with a sentence. I guarantee you probably would have took that deal. Because if you value Josh Giddey as much as you do, you would get this done and would never linger as long as it did. And then you got to also look at, which Jake Fisher acknowledged, that like what they gave up to get Josh Giddey, and the person they gave it, they could have got other pieces and other things that could have been better for the team. Let's get into that quote. He said they traded Alex Caruso straight up for Josh Giddey when they had offers from various teams over the years for multiple first-round picks for Alex Caruso. That's how much they value Josh Giddey. They see him as a major focal point of their roster moving forward, but they are not going to engage in any sign and trade scenarios, and they're not really going to move off their offer. So this is a holding pattern. This is my problem when it comes to play with this, right? You can't say, hey, I value it as much, we're not going to trade you, but we're not moving off our offer, though. You got to take this 20. No, I'm not gonna take it. If I'm seeing what you say about me in the media, and I'm seeing what you gave up for me when you could have took other pieces, so that mean you want me to be the guy, you want me to be the focal point, you want me to be a part of what you guys building with this team. You gotta pay the man. That's what I said. You can't say we not moving him, but we not moving off our offer. Hey, we value him so high, but we're not moving off this offer. No, Josh Giddey say, okay, that's fine. I'm going to sign a qualifying offer, and I'm going to be an unrestricted free agent next year. So now you just traded Alex Caruso for nothing, pretty much. A year and a half, 2 years of Josh Giddey. That's what you trade Alex Caruso for. All defensive guy for nothing. You could have got multiple first round picks. You could have got anything else that you want. But that's what we're doing. But let's get to it. How much should the Bulls pay Josh Giddey? I've been saying it already. If you asked me, 24, 25 million. Add incentives to the contract. Because the longer we wait, the bigger the contract is going to be. How the Bulls are set up to play, Josh Giddey is going to be all-star caliber type player or close to it. But say Giddey is a great player. He's one of the most talented playmakers in the NBA. And during the latter portion of the season with the Bulls last year, he emerged as a rising star, which he did. If Chicago is developing well enough, he could turn into a star, which he can. This is the Bulls are playing hardball at the wrong time. And I'm going to explain why. It's a lot of spots open up in the Eastern Conference right now because players are hurt. It's a team like the Bulls, who was probably guaranteed a play-in spot, who probably should be tanking, now could be in a higher playoff seed because teams might not look the same. Philly, Boston. I think Boston might tank this year on purpose. I'm being honest with you. I think Boston might tank this year on purpose. So what that means, higher spots for the Bulls, a better chance for somebody to be an all-star like Kobe White, Josh Giddey, and Monty Buzelis, which I think a Chicago Bulls player will be on the cusp of being an all-star, if not a all-star this year. And if it's Josh Giddey, that $30 million that you didn't want to pay, I'm trying to tell y'all, it's going to go from 35 to 40 million. And now the Bulls really going to be upset they have to pay that. But to say, rumblings have indicated Giddey's desire to earn around $30 million per year. And while that may seem like a lot, it was most starting caliber guys are earning around the NBA. Players like Derek White, Trey Murphy III, and Jalen Johnson all make around that much. Now, I mean, for what Josh Giddey could possibly do, be a triple-double caliber player, your starting point guard, the guy who runs the offense, and he getting paid around what Derek White, Trey Murphy, Jalen Johnson getting paid, and he might be your number two guy, possibly number one guy, depends on what's going to Kobe White. That's a steal for the money. If you really think of it, because stop all this save, because I know somebody in the comments are going to say, but what about 2026? We don't sign free agents like that. Keep the guy that you got. We traded Alex Caruso for it. Pay the guy. He said at this point, Giddey isn't on the level of those guys, which I slightly disagree with. I think Derek White, no. Jalen Johnson definitely emerged last year just like Giddey. And Trey Murphy, I think Josh Giddey is around that range, for sure. On the Bulls, he actually going to be higher than all those guys. I think if he plays a full season with the Bulls and we run our team like how we did the second half of the season, by the end of the next season, Josh Giddey will be better. Josh Giddey will be better than all three of those players, 100%. But he said there are too many holes in his game. He's not a good three-point shooter. His defense needs serious work, and he needs to be more consistent, which is all true. But the Bulls are banking on pushing him through those issues. He needs to lean on his elite playmaking, impressive driving abilities, and ability to lead the offense. That's what the Chicago Bulls need. So honestly, any other situation, Josh Giddey would probably be an okay player. But in Chicago, what his strengths is actually what we need. So he will actually look 2 times better than what he actually is with the Chicago Bulls. But they say paying him what he wants is a risk, inherently so. Giving any player that much money is risky with how restrictive the CBA is in today's NBA. However, if what Fisher's saying is true, Chicago's best bet is to pay Giddey. If they truly don't want to lose him, giving him close to the contract he wants may be the safest option. And I have to agree, right? Because you told me we wanted Josh Giddey. We traded one of our players. We could have got boatload of picks for, secured our future for Josh Giddey because we think he's the guy. You have to meet him in the middle somewhere in his contract. You at this point, you have to get it done. And I'm telling the Bulls now, if you don't get it done now, you're gonna pull the Dallas Cowboys with Jerry Jones, but you're gonna end up paying more than what you had to pay if you just originally paid him. And I think Josh Giddey will budge off that 30. Just meet him at 26, 25, give incentives in the contract, and pay the guy. Because if you wait till after this season, I guarantee you it's gonna go up. But what do you guys think? Should Josh Giddey just sign a qualifying offer and become an unrestricted free agent? Or should the Bulls just end up paying Josh Giddey and get all this nonsense out the way? It's been Shaq Barnes, SB Talk Sports. Another episode of Bulls Digest. See you guys on the next one. Peace.